Good morning, everybody. We are starting topic 8 today. So our topic 8 is going to be multiplying fractions. If you look at 8.1, you should have those papers in your packet. It is called Use Models to Multiply a Whole Number by a Fraction. So we already know how to multiply fractions when we're doing equivalent fractions, when we're trying to find an equivalent fraction. What we're going to do today, though, is we're going to have some problems where we actually are going to be doing some multiplication, not just to find equivalent fractions, but to actually multiply. So if you take a look at the solve and share on 8.1, the solve and share says, Sasha walked a half a mile every day for 5 days. How far did she walk? And we could do this by just doing a number model. So it could be a repeated addition problem. So I can say 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. That would be 5 times. I can also do this problem by saying 5 times 1/2. What they want us to do, because if you look at the model with math speech bubble, it says you can use a number line to model multiplication. So I have the number line here, and what we're going to do is we know that Sasha walked for 5 days, and she walked for a half a mile each of those 5 days. My number line goes from 0 to 1, so I know the line in the middle is obviously going to be my halfway point. So if we go from 0 to the first half, that's going to be our day 1. If we go from the half to the 1, that's day 2. The 1 to the 1.5 is day 3. The 1.5 to 2 is day 4. And the 2 to the 2.5 is day 5. So our answer to this problem is going to be Sasha has gone 2.5 miles in her 5 days. To show you how it also works with repeated addition, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. We know that when we have common denominators, we're never adding the denominator. Remember, we're only adding our numerators. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My denominator stays as 2. So I have 5 halves. Why is my answer different? You are correct. It's different because this is an improper fraction. If I have 5 halves, when I turn that into a mixed number, I know that it takes 2 halves to make a whole. So 2 halves is 1 whole. 4 halves is 2 wholes. So we have 2, and I have 1/2 left over. That gives me my 2.5 miles. We're also going to be looking at how I can solve this problem by just doing 5 times 1/2. This is where we're eventually going to get. If you take a look at this and you take a look at the model, you might already see the relationship and how I can get to this. We're not going to get there just yet, but that's where we're headed. So just like everything else, we know we start using models first, and then we're going to work into the equation. If you take a look at your look back, their question is, how does using a model help you multiply a whole number by a fraction? Well, we just did it. So I can use the model as a visual representation of what my problem is, and then I can actually work along each day, and I can see what she's doing each day. So if she's going the same amount, same distance each day, it gets me to my 2.5 point. Okay, what I'd like you to do right now is, if you haven't already done so, I'd like you to go into the Pearson Realize. You can either do this on your book or you can go into the website, and I would like you to look at the visual learning. So it's called What Are Some Ways to Multiply a Whole Number by a Fraction? And the convince me question that goes along with that is find 10 times 3/5, use repeated addition to check your answer, and show all of your work. So you can pause right here if you'd like so that you can do that first. I'm going to solve the problem on the board, but I would like you to try it yourself. And then you're going to stop there, and then I'm going to go through some of the guided practice with you. So this would be a good time to pause if you'd like to try it on your own. Okay, so the Convince Me said find 10 times 3/5, and they want us to use repeated addition. So I know that I need to do 3/5 10 times. So it's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'll squeeze one more in over here, 10. So I have 3/5 10 times. Again, I know that all of my denominators are 5, so in my answer, I'm going to have a denominator of 5, and all I'm doing now is I'm adding all of my numerators. So think about your multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. I can also think about it as 10 times 3. So I now have 30/5. 30/5, what kind of fraction? You are correct if you said improper. So remember, my improper fraction is basically just a division problem. 30 divided by 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6, which means 10 times 3/5 equals 6. You can stop there, and I'm going to attach a second video where we're going to go through the guided practice together before you start the independent. If you have any questions, please drop them into the comments below.